Okay. What's up guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to my latest video, The Life of a Jobbing Plumber. If you've not seen one before, it's basically what I get up to in the week as a plumber and a gas engineer. So just a mix of jobs, whatever I've got on in the week, whatever I think would be interesting to film for a YouTube video. So my videos are sponsored by Velocity Pro Gear. I've also got my own range of tool bags with Velocity if you want to check them out. The link to their website's in the description. And Power Tool, mate, if you're in the market for a new power tool, check out their website. The link to their site's in the description. They've got a Black Friday sale on the minute with some great deals, but you can use my discount code, which is PB5, on top of any other deals they've got going on, so you can get yourself a real good bargain. So before I start this week's video, I've got a special message for one of my viewers. He's been with me since the start, I reckon. He's always one of the first to comment, always got something nice, positive to say. He helps out with all the charity jobs, always doing things for other people. And unfortunately, he's been diagnosed with cancer. So myself and Andy Cam, we've raised some money for him in the past. We need some more ideas because he's one of our own. He's a plumber. He's just the nicest guy and he needs our help. So if anyone's got any ideas of how we can raise a bit of money, let me know. But yeah, this is for you, Wayne Burgess. I hope you're watching this, mate. I hope you're hanging in there. You're doing all right. And just to let you know that we are all behind you, we're all thinking about you, and hopefully that will give you a little bit of positivity, a little bit of a light in the dark times kind of thing. So yeah, we're all with you, mate, and we'll get something done for you. Enjoy this week's video. Been doing this job a lot of years, and this is the first time I've seen this design of radiator, and I quite like it. It's very Art Deco. So the job here is just one of the radiators isn't working. So I'm going to turn the heating on and we'll have a look using a thermal imaging camera. So I've got the heating on for 10-15 minutes now. So this is one of the upstairs radiators. And you can see there with my thermal imaging camera, we've got heat. Just started. So the side of the chair. It's obvious that one starts on the left there, and then moves to the right hand side. You can see by the way the heat's distributed. So that one's okay. Another one up there. That one's getting some heat. This one here is getting some heat. So the problem one they've got is in this room. So if we look at this one, there's nothing. So my initial thought is, because the other ones are circulating, it's probably that TRV. So that was on number 6. If I look at the pin, it's rock hard. So all I'm going to do, be really careful. I'm not going to pull this up. I'm just going to gently twist it. See, that's already popped up. Just from a twist. If you pull it up and you pull that pin out, water is going to piss up in the air and you're going to be screwed. So never pull them, just a gentle twist. And that should now. Nothing yet. Give it a minute. So now, stand back and have a look at it. Right, you can see now the heat is just starting to come from the left hand side. It's my pair of grips on the floor. Oh, they're glowing. Looks pretty cool. Thermal imaging cameras are a great bit of kit. They're really useful for fault finding, for proving things to customers. but I didn't get one till very late in my career, probably due to price. And you know, as technology improves, prices come down. You don't need a handheld one, you can get ones that plug into your phone, but yeah, it's definitely worth investing in because you can do a lot with them. Right, so letting agency property, no heating, no hot water. So let's see what happens. We'll try hot water first. Right, spoilified. Airing cupboard. Let's see, the pump looks like it's got power anyway. Got heat there, heat there, nothing there. So according to my hand diagnosis, they've got hot water. So let's go and turn the, yeah, that's the return. Oh, it comes out in 15 there. And then we've got a gate valve, and then that's the bypass. That's hot. So nothing through that heating flow at the minute, so let's go and put the room stat on, or program on the room stat on. Okay. And then room stat. Yep. Okay. It's got hot though. Oh, there's something wrong with this then. It's definitely letting the heat through, but obviously it don't want to sound like that. So why is it vibrating with that on it? That's weird. That's not moving. This doesn't feel like it's doing anything. If I do it manually, let's try that with the bypass open a little bit. Well, I reckon we'll just swap the whole thing. So So I'm going to swap the whole valve. I'm going to reuse this because that's what these are for. These are to stop you having to go into the wiring centre. So I'll take that plug off there, attach it to my new one. This is just what I keep on the van. So get rid of this ESI one. I think it's ESI. Yep, ESI. Put Drayton on, and yeah, nice little job. If you're looking at this, I got this the other day when I went down to do one of the podcasts at Unilight. It's a tripod with a thread, you know, like a normal, you put a camera on, but just a mini tripod. And there is this quick release. I don't know what this actually does. I should find out before I start talking to you, shouldn't I? Maybe that's so you can turn it. Yeah, that locks that in place. So you can move that around and then lock it in place. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can attach whichever torch you're using to it and use it as a, rather than have to hang it off stuff, use it as a little workstation. If you want one, don't forget, you buy anything off Unilight, use my discount code, which is PB25, I think. PB Plumber 25 or PB25. PB, what is it? PB25, I don't know. You'll find it out. That was not easy to get out. Not much movement. That will go down like 5 mil. This one won't go back at all. This one I've got a tiny bit, but obviously I don't want to disturb that joint on the cylinder. So yeah, not easy to get out, but the only good thing was the olives hadn't been crushed on the pipe, so they just pulled off. So we'll get the new one on now. Laco, slick tight. About ready for a new top of this, to be honest. Just keeps it off your fingers, saves you wiping it down your trousers. When I was an apprentice, my Snickers, I used to buy Snickers and then completely ruin them by just rubbing my finger with silicone and paste. You just have, my right leg would just be white, just white dobs, look like I'd been jizzing on myself. And then new valve body in. B for bath, A goes to your heating, so that's going to go in that way. Right, so that's the new one in, water's on. There's only a little bit to do that. So then all I've got to do, the easy bit, so that's, we're connected onto that. That's the old one, so I just need to take that off the old one. And then my new valve motor, basically wire into that and then plug in. And I'm done, I'll turn it on and test it. If you've not seen inside one of these before, that's basically it. So your wires from your actuator go into these and they line up. Obviously you've got to do the same on this side, so you can't put your orange in the middle because it will then be connected to the earth on this. So but I think that's just common sense really. Make sure you swap on the same. Easiest way to do that and not get anything wrong, take one out, your old one out, orange, put your new one in, and then we'll go do the blue next. So neutral will be next, and then you can't go wrong. Okay, so old one disconnected, that's my new valve motor, wired up, plugged in, and then pop this on. There out the pump. Okay, so nice and hot there, cold on the heating. Let's go and turn the heating on. Oh. Hopefully no mad banging noise. That's nice and warm now. Just got a little bit of air to get out, I reckon. Sounds a little bit. Just getting some air out the pump. Get left on it. There. I don't know if this has obviously been fitted upside down. I don't know if the de-aeration feature works when the pump's upside down, but I'm going to do it anyway. Probably one of my most common breakdowns is a blocked condensed trap on an Ideal Logic, and it will sound like this. That gurgling sound you can hear will be because the condensed trap is blocked and the boiler is fighting against, or there's water in the heat exchanger. So we want to, well, it's two things: block condensed trap, block condensed outlet, or it's frozen, but it's not cold enough for it to freeze today, so it's definitely not that. So we're looking at either the trap's blocked or the condensed pipe outlet where it goes in. And if you remember last week, the video, it went in with the kitchen sink and all the slime, cooking fat, whatever, at the kitchen sink had blocked it. This one, however, we're in a block of flats here, runs all the way through the kitchen, behind the fridge, in this boxing in, and actually connects in under the bath. So it's a long way for it to go where it connects in. I can't see where it connects in because it's in that boxing in behind there. But what I want to do is start off by checking the sump and the trap. Now, there's going to be water in there, or I suspect there's going to be water in there. It could be all the way up to the top. So when I take this off, water's basically going to piss out. So I want to do it from underneath the boiler to protect the boiler components. So we're going to take this off. I'm going to get my wet vac ready so we don't flood the place. Alternatively, you could put a bowl under there and catch the water, but always be careful because you don't know how much water is going to come out of that. Wet vac is probably one of my most used tools. If you want one, check out Power Tool Mate. Use PB5 and you'll get 5% off. So what I'm going to do is remove this condensed pipe from the rubber grommet, rubber seal underneath the boiler, and I'm expecting a lot of water, so I'm ready there with my wet vac, but nothing comes out. Now that's telling me that the condensed trap above it is completely blocked. So what I'm going to do is put my wet vac on it and try and suck it out. If I can get as much water out as possible, when I actually take it out, there'll be less water for me to deal with. You can see on the right hand side the water level going down. That's me sucking that out with the wet vac. But we're quite blocked on the left hand chamber there. So because I want to take this out, I need to remove the rubber piece there, and there's going to be water in that. So you will see here just what a wet vac does. As I remove that and the water wants to spray everywhere, it's actually getting sucked into my hoover a little bit there on the on that electrical connection. That's the reason there why I also keep a hairdryer, because anytime I get anything wet in a boiler after I've worked on it, blast it with a hairdryer before putting the power on. So now I'm trying to suck as much water as I can out, so there's as least amount of water spilling inside the boiler as possible. And now I can take that condensed trap out. One of the main reasons this happens is because this is a tenanted property, and I can guarantee you the landlord is getting this boiler a gas certificate every year, but not a service. So no one is cleaning this condensed trap out. So can you be surprised that they block up? You can say, oh, I don't like Ideal Logics. Ideal Logics are crap. Condensed traps always block. But if they're not being serviced properly, is it the fault of the boiler? I don't think it is. So the way a condensate trap works is the left-hand chamber, which is connected to the sump on the boiler, fills with condensate. And then as the boiler's running and condensing, that level spills over to the right-hand chamber. But as you can see here, if you imagine the tap was the boiler and it's condensing, it's not actually even going into the trap on the left-hand side, because it's so badly blocked, it's just spilling over, and that's why that boiler was making that horrific noise. So we need to clean it out. Once it's clean, you can see now, once we fill the left-hand chamber, that stays full, and then as the boiler continues to condense, the right-hand chamber starts to fill up. Once that right-hand chamber gets to the top, it starts to siphon out the contents. So you can see it's completely empty in the right-hand side chamber. The left-hand side chamber is staying full because that's our trap. If we go again, we see it fills up and then it siphons out. So that's working properly now, and that should be done once a year when the boiler's serviced, and then this wouldn't happen. So that's all back together. Reset the boiler, and then we'll hear the difference now when it fires up. So my instruction from the letting agency was no heating, no hot water, which I've got back working for the tenant. But what I need to do now is recommend the landlord gets the boiler service, because it's obviously not been done for a while, if ever. And the tenant's done that classic thing of when the boiler stopped working, assumed it was pressure, and they've tried to top the pressure up and left the filling loop open. So I've got to sort that out before I go. So it's... Fuck off, Siri.
That's what I reckoned.
What? I didn't ask you nothing. Get off. Oh, fucking thing. So it's Wednesday night, 5:15. Got to swap this, and the customer supplied his own shower, so you know what happens. They get a completely different one, and you have to re-drill the tiles, change where the cable entry is, the water entry. But no, the little legend has got the exact same shower. What I mean by cable entry points and water entry is this one, bottom left, top left. Sometimes they'll be bottom right, top right. You'll have to alter tiles, fixings as well. You have to re-drill the tiles. So if you get the same shower, everything goes back the same. So there's my new one. Water entry bottom left, cable entry top left, and that will fit exactly there. Even the fixing points are the same. So that's the new shower on. Obviously, riser rail, you get a new one, but it's a different style, and I think there's nothing wrong with that one. Also, the where it attaches onto the wall there, they kind of match the knobs. So I'm gonna see if he wants me to leave that one on and then just leave him that as a spare. And then the other thing is, obviously, you get a new shower head, so we use that. But the actual flex, the old one is a nice one. The new one is this smooth silver one, which I think is ugly as. So I'm going to ask him if he wants that on. I'll keep that as a spare. So he's decided he does want this one, but he doesn't want the new riser rail, so I'm leaving that one on, but he wants to get rid of this, he doesn't use it, so I'm going to take that off. Get rid of that. Do this one-handed. Oh, you can. So that's gonna go like, oh shit. There we go. Lovely. That's not flickering as I'm looking at it, it's just the camera flickering. It's weird.